Whether you spend all night studying for exams or trying to catch up for your favorite TV series, chances are that you didn't sleep enough last night, or the few nights before. And yet again, you still deny the fact that you are sleep deprived and are convinced that the sleep you had is enough. But how long should we really sleep? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today, I will share with you the studies on the effects of sleep deprivation and optimal sleep duration. Now, to begin with, scientists, they aren't even sure why we need to sleep in the first place. However, we do know that sleeping improves your judgment, boosts your problem-solving skills, enhances memory, and lowers certain health risks, some of which can be quite deadly. Now, to find out how much sleep an average person needs, researchers have conducted a survey forcing certain groups of people to sleep for 8, 6, and 4 hours for an extended periods of time. After 14 days, those who slept for 8 hours After 14 days, those who slept for 8 hours suffers little cognitive issues and have very healthy reaction times. However, those who slept for only 6 hours have a lot of cognitive issues and have reaction times similar to people with blood alcohol concentration of 0.1%, something that is considered legally drunk. And those who slept for only 4 hours fared even worse, with some of them falling asleep during their cognitive tests. Okay. How about no sleep at all? What does sleeplessness do to our body? Well, it all depends on how long you've been kept awake. After 24 hours, you will suffer with poor judgment and coordination, memory impair, as well as deterioration in decision making. After 2 days of sleeplessness, your body will suffer from high blood pressure, which would lead to increased risk of cardiovascular disease and emotional instability. After 72 hours of not sleeping, expect hallucinations and severe deficits in concentration, perception, and motivation. So we now know that a lack of sleep is definitely harmful to our body. And as the duration of your sleep deprivation lengthens, your brain function declines with it. In other words, the more nights you spend with insufficient sleep, the poorer your brain will function. This cumulative effect is what scientists refer to as a sleep debt. So, is recovery possible? Again, it depends on how long you've been depriving yourself of sleep. Research has shown that after a few nights of insufficient sleep, normal brain function can be recovered by having few nights of good sleep in return. However, for a longer term of sleep deprivation on a scale from weeks to months, your brain will suffer from slow recovery that will require more nights of quality sleep to recover. And on the extreme end, on a scale of months to years, it is no longer known whether full recovery is possible or whether permanent brain damage is caused. So the problem of sleep deprivation might have caused a more serious problem than you think. Okay. So how long should we sleep? As you may have already known, most studies have shown that have determined an optimal sleep duration to be between 7 to 8 hours. Sleep any less than that, aside from the cognitive issue, you are subjected to high risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, depression, and death. Now, some of you may look to repay the sleep debt you've accumulated over the weekdays by sleeping more on the weekends. However, this itself might not be such a good idea, as sleeping too much may also subject you with higher risk of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and not to mention a higher chance of death. And as a matter of fact, sleeping too much may increase your mortality rate at a rate higher than what sleeping too little would do. So you might want to rethink. You might want to think twice before you click that play button on your laptop. Okay. However, due to genetic variations, there are people who can get away with only 6 hours of sleep. So at the end of the day, although the idea of 7 to 8 hours exists, it is important for you to determine what your own body needs. After all, we are all different individuals. And the hours that I'm displaying here, they're not just any kind of sleep. They must be really deep quality sleep. So here are some tips on how you can sleep better. First of all, stick to a schedule. Okay? Our body is programmed to follow routines. So try to sleep for the same amount of time and wake up at the same time every day. Next, cut down on caffeine and cigarettes. Aside from keeping your brain awake at night, caffeine can actually affect your ability to stay awake during the day and in the long run. And although cigarettes are presumably relaxing, they can actually prevent you from falling asleep. Next thing, turn off your screens. Okay, by staring at the bright screen from your laptop, smartphones and tablets, you're actually tricking your brain to thinking that it is daytime, thus making it harder for you to fall asleep. And last but not least, remember that your beds are for sleeping. By doing other activities such as watching TV, studying, or browsing the web on your bed or mattress, your brain actually associates these activities with your bed, and thus making it harder for you to fall asleep, and making sleep a more difficult task than it should be. Okay, so there you have it. Keep this information in mind, follow these tips and advices, and you are on your way to becoming a more energetic, healthier, and vigilant individuals. Thank you.